Good afternoon, everyone. We are not so many, but still, the topic is very interesting, and I'm very glad to see you all. Today, we will talk about eco-design and how to use it as a performance lever in your decision-making. And when I'm talking about eco-design, we talk about everything, packaging and formula. And within the next 25 minutes, I will introduce you shortly our company, Quantis. I will give you a short overview of the trends in the cosmetics and personal care industry, and we will talk about the priorities when we talk about eco-design. Before I start, let me introduce myself. My name is Natalia, and I'm a lead for cosmetics and personal care in Germany for Quantis. And I have almost a decade of experience for working for different multinational companies in that industry. And I was part of many cross-functional projects, including launching new products. And today I am proud to be the part of Quantis, which is a leading consultancy in terms of environmental assessment for the cosmetic products. And the mission of Quantis and the reason why we are here are very similar. We really believe that we can transform the business into a sustainable way, that it will work very well for both, for business and for the planet. And we believe that we are all partners in that journey, and we can do many things together. Our team, which is working for the cosmetics industry, is about 50 people worldwide, and we have such specialists as environmental engineers, business strategists, communication experts, and all the experts you can imagine, including agronomists and water specialists. And we are all very passionate about how to transform the business into a sustainable way and how to help companies to incorporate sustainability in their strategy. We are located in 5 countries. That's why it's very easy to approach us in different languages. And when we talk about the beauty or about the cosmetics and personal care industry, the value chain of that sector could be quite dangerous for the environment. And when we start from the sourcing and continue with manufacturing, packaging, use phase and disposal, every stage of the value chain can bring a negative impact on the environment. Especially big impact comes from the packaging and from the use phase. Especially because our packaging is most of the times a single-use plastic packaging, which is not so nice for the environment. And before we start talking about the eco-design and how it actually can help us to solve these issues, let's play a small game to understand what are the solutions of eco-design. So I will ask you a few questions, and I will ask you to raise your hand if you reply with yes to my questions. So, do you know what are the refills in the cosmetics and personal care industry? I know. You know what our refills are, right? And please keep holding your hands when you raise them, because we will continue the game. And now, keep holding the hands only those of you who use the refills regularly at your home, in your household. Okay, no one. Some of the people put it down. Okay, and the next question. Who is using the solid shampoo instead of the normal one? Okay, I will be honest, I'm not. Okay, there's few people left. And the last question, who is going to the shops, to the refill stations, to refill their products, actually? Okay, one person. So we see that the solutions, actually, they exist. It's just the question that they do not exist at scale. And that's the main challenge for the whole industry. And let's move to the main topic of our presentation on eco-design. And before we speak about that, I will give, the examples that I just mentioned. I will give you a short intro of the context in which the industry is operating at the moment. And we see that actually we are in a transformative shift, mainly driven by consumer demands. Consumers now are not looking just for a product, they are looking for something more. And they want really scientific proof for the efficacy of the products, that we are talking about claims, and for the environmental performance of those products. And it should be all proved according to the latest science. And behind these trends, the claims, scoring, and transparency are really emerging and gaining momentum. For example, according to statistics, the products that are claimed to be sustainable are responsible for more than 1/3 of a growth for the whole industry of packaged goods between 2013 and 2022. And the growth is keep going. I mean, that is the future that is coming. However, we should be really careful with the claims that we put on the products, because the regulation is getting tighter and tighter. And just this year, I think you are aware, the Green Claims Directive was just published, and many big companies, they started to rework on their claims in order to be in accordance with the regulation which is acting in EU. And also, when we talk about scoring systems is also a trend which comes maybe from the food industry. Food industry is really well developed and settled in that area. And this helps consumers to make more cautious choices when they go shopping. And they can choose, okay, this product has a better score, probably I will take it. But the story is that the scoring system also should be unified in order that the consumers are not lost if there are too many systems, which they cannot just know what does it mean. So, and just a bit out of the scope, when we talk about real transformation, the beauty sector should not be shy, and we should look around on the other industries as well. And fashion and automobile industries could be a good example, actually. For example, if we take the Levi's company, they really try to influence the behavior of the consumers, and they just launched the advertising where they say, maybe you don't need to wash your jeans as often as you do. So I don't know if any of you is following the advice of that advertising. Well, could be controversial, but still, this is how we can influence the behavior of the consumers and to reduce water impact, electricity impact, and at the end, we really take into account the use phase when we launch the product on the market. And now we are ready to move to the future of our industry, and by the future, at this current moment, we mean eco-design. I will present you 4 couples of priorities for eco-design linked to the challenges and opportunities. And I will start with the first one, which is choosing the right materials. I think it's really straightforward, and we really believe that in the future, eco-design will be introduced at scale. And that when we talk about launching a product, we will have the KPIs and the goals for product separately for packaging and formula, and we will see how they contribute together to the commitments of the company on a corporate level. I think all of you heard that many companies, especially big players, they put commitments to be carbon neutral by 2030, but not all of them are really knowing how the small operational steps are bringing the contribution to that target. And that's what we are talking about eco-design. That it is very important to have these goals and understanding how each step contributes to your big goal. And when we talk about the challenges here and opportunities, first of all, it's very important that eco-design tools and principles are incorporated in a new product development process as early as possible. And later, if we talk about the already existing portfolio, in the tools when you assess the performance of the existing products. And here, this can be really a challenge because, I don't know, I guess everyone has the bestseller that you are using for many years, and it's very difficult actually to change the product which the consumers love so much, because we talk about colors, about packaging, and the formula itself. And also, here we would like to give an example of L'Oréal. For example, they launched their own internal tool, which is called Spot, and this tool helps to assess the products in the process of development and decide, is it contributing to our commitments? And if the product is worse in terms of performance than previous versions, it will be not launched on the market. So that's why the companies keep achieving their targets by little operational steps through the whole organization. That is why in 2018, we partnered with L'Oréal to develop the pre-competitive initiative called SPICE, where actually everyone can have access to such tools and assess their packaging performance. In SPICE, we developed the unique and universal methodology how to assess packaging and how to help companies understand, does it worth using it or should we switch to something else? This is an open initiative. Please, check if you have interest to ask me later the questions. And now we can move to the second priority if we talk about eco-design, and this is actually reducing packaging waste. When we talk about packaging waste, I think many of you might think about the regulation. And regulation in the EU really differs very much from one member state to another. And this brings a lot of complexity to companies how to operate. And for example, that is why the latest regulation on packaging and packaging waste is very beneficial for the business because it sets the clear rules and understanding how we can actually achieve our waste reduction targets. From our side as a consultancies, we really encourage companies to change the perception of packaging. It should not be taken for granted as it's taken now by consumers. It should be also taken with its value. And we also encourage to switch to monomaterials whenever it's possible, and we promote a simplification of packaging, because this is how we can increase recyclability and close the loop of plastic in our industry. We also encourage the elimination of single-use secondary plastic packaging whenever it's possible. And we also actually challenge to our clients whenever possible the secondary plastic or the secondary packaging in general. Because actually, the less we produce, the less waste we create. And when we talk about challenges here, this is, not always easy, as I said, to transform already the existing portfolio. It is easier, actually, to employ eco-design principles to the new products, which you're in the process just making them. And you can talk to everyone, and you can create this synergy. But what to do with those bestsellers and with the existing portfolio? So here, the collaboration with retailers and with the peers in the industry is really crucial. How we can find alternative solutions and how we can drive its acceptance among the consumers is really important. And also, if we talk about the different materials, glass could actually become one more streamliner. And how to increase the quality of post-consumer recycled glass is also a very interesting topic and could be like a gold mine in the future. And we also encourage our clients and all the companies to participate in producer responsibility programs to improve the post-consumer content of different materials in general. And now we can move to the third priority, which is implementing sustainable practices. And I will continue a bit the topic that I raised previously, that in the ecosystem of recycling, we really need to take care of the quality of the post-recycled content, because it's really not the same in comparison with the materials which are produced from raw resources. For example, the transparency of the packaging will never be the same from the post-consumer recycled plastic in comparison with the virgin plastic. But that's the new rules of the game in our industry if we follow sustainability. And companies should actually commit to producing packaging which is either recyclable or refillable. And this is not because we recommend, this is according to the new regulation already. And if we think about these two options and only one is possible, we would recommend to more think about reusability, because this is how we can reduce carbon emissions and all others through the whole value chain. And we also recommend that the companies start to sell their refills in online, and they should put the sales targets for this kind of products. And we see that 80% of turnover is very achievable to achieve via refills in online stages, or how to say it. And there are actually changes in the market. You already raised your hands. It means that you have access, actually, to the refill and reusable packaging. And for example, Garnier just launched, not recently, but not so long time ago, the solid shampoo, which I personally didn't try yet, but I encourage everyone to try, because this is the way how we, first of all, we rethink the formulation, and we eliminate water in the packaging, and that helps us to actually save resources when we think about logistics. And we also eliminate plastic waste because we change the packaging to a paper one, which can be also from the recycled material. And also the Kadum, which launched the rechargeable pouches. This is also a very interesting thing when you have a system and you just change the pouches while keeping the more heavier weight plastic packaging always with you, and you are not throwing it away. And we also encourage you to be part of the Ellen MacArthur Foundation initiative and commit to your targets on your plastic elimination, and report annually whenever possible. And if we talk about the challenges related to this, we will talk about the things that, yes, driving acceptance of the new solutions is really sometimes a challenge and complicated. So the collaboration between peers and retailers is really crucial. We need to make the refills available online and refill stations available in the stores that we are so used to. There are many challenges in terms of merchandising and branding, but that's where we are moving if we talk about the decreasing environmental impact. And also we should think about how to improve the content of post-consumer materials. And this, I don't know, have you ever heard about the initiative which is called Holy Grail 2.0? So it's nothing magical, it's just the name. The idea is that the initiative puts and testing the digital technology, digital watermarks to put on the packaging where they can do while sorting, create different streams of packaging by industry. Because, for example, the packaging that comes from food industry can be recycled and used in cosmetics. And the vice versa, sometimes it's not possible because the formulas of cosmetics can influence the plastic the way that it cannot be compatible with food in the future. So that's why a lot of plastic is just wasted and cannot be recycled, and it ends up in landfill. And the idea of such initiatives to improve sorting is to actually, again, close the loop and do not bring new virgin plastic in that loop. And when we talk about the refills and reuse, I would like to highlight several examples that companies really do efforts there, and we really need to keep pushing. For example, Bayersdorf is testing refill stations in Hamburg and Karlsruhe. You can go there and try it. Body Shop having even wider distribution of these refill stations across the whole Germany, where they provide you the refill stations and the shops for hand soap, for shampoo and shower gel. And they put the claim, refill, reuse, repeat. So we can all try it, and maybe there would be more hands in the auditorium when I will ask my questions for the game. And if we are talking about the last but not the least priority, talking about eco-design, which was already touched through the whole presentation, is that we should develop solutions which actually enable consumers to change their behavior. And this is, from my point of view, sometimes the most difficult part of eco-design, because we all have our habits which are like built through the ages, and it's very hard to switch. And here we think that we really need to push for reusable practices. Step by step, people will get used to think like, okay, actually, we can also put a fund system like we use for our bottles, for cosmetic bottles. But that's so far only the future. But still, in some local tests, this is keep testing. And also the new business models, where we create the new formulations which actually help us to create new packaging, which has less environmental impact. As I already mentioned, the waterless shampoo, the solid shampoo. And here I would like to highlight that collective initiatives such as Eco Beauty Score Consortium, I don't know, have you ever heard about that? Because this is the consortium which consists of 60 plus companies, all the big players that can come into your mind worldwide, plus professional organizations. And we, Quantis, work as a scientific advisors for this consortium, and we create the scoring system for cosmetics products by category. So it means that already end of this year, you will be see in some shops and some countries The products with the scoring system, we still don't know how it will look like, probably ABC or 100 scale. For some products where you will be already see, okay, that product is actually better than the other one. The companies will decide on which products to put it, but we will be able already end of this year see how it's influencing the behavior of the consumers. And if we talk about challenges here, of course, challenging is to think about the consumer needs and keep going in the eco-design direction. Because, as I said, sometimes when we do the marketing screenings of the consumer needs and behavior, they're still living in the past, and it's influencing which products we are launching, because we all want to have good sales at the end. And the marketing teams and the design teams should be briefed at the very beginning of the new product development that, okay, we really put eco-design as a priority, and then we think about other things. But here, a lot of trade-offs and a lot of challenges appear, and this is case-by-case situation where different solutions could be found. And that's actually the end of my presentation, almost. And in summary, I'm sure that all of the companies are aware of the sustainability issues, and all of them are ready to contribute to a positive change. And via collaborating, inspiring, and empowering consumers, and going even beyond our industry of beauty, I think we can really make the change happen, and the sooner the better. If you follow the QR code on the screen, you can access our website, and there are a lot of information on different sustainability topics, because currently, I don't know what is your opinion, the market talks a lot about carbon emissions and carbon footprint, and actually the water issues are the next ones. The water is the next carbon, and the regulation is to come, and maybe the act faster and being not, how to say, proactively pushed by regulation to do something will make for the business, maybe it's even easier. And same for the nature and biodiversity topics. This is all what I wanted to share with you today. I will be around here, or maybe you have the questions already now. I'm happy to answer, so feel free to approach.